Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gamble with SimplerOptions.com, and in today's free video I wanted to start by taking a look at the NASDAQ. This is, in my opinion, one of the most important charts in the current market. It's a bit uncertain as to which direction it's going to fire just yet. As you can tell from this chart, we've done a good job of maintaining the 21 EMA, and as of now, we're still staying inside a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. But there are some cracks in the current market, and not everything is just peachy, so I'm a little bit hesitant about it. That's kind of where I approach the weekly chart from. Now, when we drill down into the daily, it is a little bit easier to see this zone that has been very important right here around 45.50. So you can see where we were unable to get through it, unable to get through it, unable to get through it, finally break out from that level, and now we've been consolidating near in that range. So if the NASDAQ can hold this level and go on into new highs, how might we be able to play it? Because I'm not wild about jumping in here and buying the index, since it's not a very clean chart. You know, it could just as easily come back down into 4,400. But what I try to do inside that is say, okay, if the NASDAQ is a bit uncertain, let's drill down and try to find one of its components that may be a bit more clean. For today's example, I'd like to take a look at Adobe and a couple of the signals that we have forming here. Now, I've been tracking Adobe for the better part of a week now, and it's finally started to act a lot better. Now, you may say, well, it was down, 1.5% today, but the markets were also down pretty sharp as well. What I like to look for inside these patterns, first and foremost, we have a daily squeeze that looks great. If we come back to the weekly chart, you'll notice that we also have a weekly squeeze that is fired long, so this is a textbook nested squeeze play. The daily chart is bullish, the weekly chart is bullish, and you've got very clear areas to define your risk on this. Something else that I like to do once you've established kind of the squeeze signal and why you want to get into it, come in and remove your technical studies and then just focus on price action. I always like to say, at what point would I be wrong in this trade? Well, I would give myself all the way down into 78.94 to hold this low, and if that low is going to be any good, then this is where you can find your target by running your swing high to swing low and generating that extension there at 85.83. So essentially the setup here is a move into 85.83, risking down into 78.94. You could be a little closer with it if you wanted, but that's generally the what I would like to use. I will also look at this and note, okay, 81.40 is the high there, and 81.36 was there. I would have preferred this bar actually have been the high, which would make the decline that preceded the rally a bit easier to run, but we'll compare it anyway. And then you just start to see how these two declines are very similar to the decline that we saw today. So you've got a squeeze in play, you've got a good area of symmetry to focus on, and I think it's going to be an area that you can either add to or accumulate a position in Adobe should the indexes firm up, and look for those targets into the August expiration. So I hope that helps, and we will see you guys at the next free video.